All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everybody and anybody who's listening and watching and whatever. It's what about you? What time is it you for Max? For you?
Too early. 8:27, I think.
Oh, it's
On a
brutal.
Sunday.
On a Sunday, no less. You've still got. If we finish this up in like half an hour, you've still got time to go to church. Maybe.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm. Oh, and me, it's 11:30. So. The night. Sorry, what?
Well, you got a nice skyline behind there.
Oh yeah. Well, it's nice to be inside looking out because it's very cold right now. It's not as cold as
cold. It's like 20 Celsius.
It's
no,
I just realized with whom I'm talking. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so rude. What's the temperature? I'm in San Francisco, and what is it here? It's weather in San Francisco.
Yeah.
54 Fahrenheit, which is 12 Celsius right now.
Okay.
And you're in, where are you?
In Denmark.
Yeah.
We have a warm winter, so it's like, I don't know, 8.
5. Yeah. You're in Copenhagen?
No, I'm in the middle of, I'm on the island, Odense. It's the place where you don't stop when you go between Aarhus and Copenhagen. I'm in the middle. Okay. No one knows where.
Okay, well, cool. Yeah. So 5 to 8. Okay, that's fine. Still, wait, actually, that's not that cold.
You just it's we are having a warm. Sorry, we have a warm period right now. So
yeah. When does the chest high snow start?
Oh well, Denmark doesn't get snow. Well, we do, but not like when I was younger. Yes, I just learned that we had 21. What's it called? Like 21 days less above. Sort of like in the past, there was 21 more days below zero. Now it's warm. So.
Oh yeah, but again, climate change, it's a hoax. That's what they tell us. That's what the people say.
So, yeah, I would say I missed proper winter. I lived in Switzerland before, and they're proper snow. So
yeah, I was in Helsinki, Finland. In January of last year, not 2024, but 2020.
Forever darkness.
It was there's snowpack up to your chest. And me, I'm from California. I'm there with my light Patagonia jacket and some shorts.
Shorts?
Yeah. I was basically fine for 10 minutes, but the trick is to not stay out there for more than 10 minutes or you'd regret it. So 20 days, it's crazy. Like, I mean, that's almost a month, and by the way, it is winter now, as of like yesterday, I think. We had winter solstice. That means that it's the shortest day of the year, which means it can only get better from here. And
that's how we'll take that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I figured, what better way to sort of start our happy ascent upwards than by having you on the show. What a nice privilege. Thanks for joining us. Can you, we know what temperature you're dealing with. We know where you live, but can you introduce yourself and maybe teach us how to pronounce your name and all that?
Max Andersen. I work for Red Hat, and I work on various things. I've been in the Java space for 20 plus years. Done a lot of Hibernate. I've done a lot of Seam and Ceylon, and the first 10 years been a lot of tooling.
You worked on Ceylon as well?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I was part of that. Yeah.
Cool. That was a nice language. I really like that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We have to. Yeah. What was left was. Yeah. Well, some of it is in Kotlin, some other places, but yeah.
But some not anywhere. That's a shame because there's some really cool stuff in there.
No, my main thing was working on the Hibernate core on the very early days. If you ever done a native query in JPA, that's some of the stuff I did in the early days.
It's one of my favorite features of JPA. Yeah,
I've had many debates making sure that what's it called that you can get to raw proper SQL. Which is one of the things, by the way, one of the things I joined, I worked with Hibernate in the early days. I was doing medical appliance stuff, and we had our own ORM layer and I was working with look at Apache. Oh, this is like Apache, OJB, and all this stuff.
I remember that. Yeah.
These were not very good. They had like a global session, and they said, "Oh, it's up to the user to figure out where the transaction boundaries are." And I was like, "No." That was no. So I saw Gavin King's Hibernate, and I'm like, "Hey, this is cool." And I did a lot of the reverse engineering stuff, and just kind of that's where it all started.
Is that the sign behind them, JBang?
That is, yes. This is what happens when there's Black Friday and people invite me on places. No. So there was Black Friday, and I saw this, and I got on a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, that was fun. So no. And then I've done like JBoss tools and Eclipse tooling, and then I've done.
You did the JBoss tools as well?
Yeah, that's the thing I led. Yes,
that's awesome. Okay, so I gotta. I've used that. I've used it a lot.
It was nice. It did a lot of cool things, and I remember when on his peak, I had fun with what's the guy's name? Martin. Who did the Spring tools? We shared expertise, and we always had like who's the top 5 or 10 on the marketplace. And it's been like 10, 12 years since I've actually done anything on it, but it's still on in the top 10, even though that supposedly not a lot of people are using that stuff. But
as you and I both know, the enterprise is forever.
Yes.
Eclipse users are still a very, very big base. It's.
It's still, and I always like find fun with when people say, "Oh, I don't like Eclipse, so we don't use it," and I just remind you, unless you're using IntelliJ, you are using Eclipse. It's VS Code. It's in GitHub Codespaces. In any online IDE is using Eclipse. So and people, and then I also tell people, do they realize that the people who do VS Code is actually the old Eclipse team with Eric Gamma and his team insert.
We even took that approach. Like our Eclipse support is now language servers that are implemented in VS Code, but it's still, and then
the team. I work with Fred Picon and other guys who've done. We do the LSP in Java, which I think Spring Tools is using. So no, a bunch of stuff there, and then I did some Kubernetes OpenShift.io for a few years in Go, and then I said, "Fuck this," and I took a year off and started playing piano and learning French, since I've been living in country speaking French for 15 years, 10 years at the time. And then I promised myself not to use computer for at least 3 months.
Oh non, si tu parles en français, est-ce que tu me comprends, non?
Oui, c'est super.
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
Okay. Cool. And then on the first day on my sabbatical leave, I broke my ankle, so I had to stay with like a robot leg for 90 days.
Is that where the bang and JBang comes from?
Like almost. That's more the French part, the JBang. But no. So I still promised me not. So I was like, actually, okay, I'm not gonna go do Java. So I actually spent some time with Python, because I actually did Python like way back.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know Home Assistant and automation tooling.
Do you remember Mr. Home? The Perl-based home automation kit from like 25 years ago, whatever.
Oh, that's a long time.
Anyway, wait, when did you do Python before? Because
so this is early, like when I worked for the company who do GoTo and Yahoo. They had a department medical thing, and they had this automation tooling that was using Python to set up development environments. Like,
Cool.
hey, go get me an app server. Go get me whatever it was.
Yeah.
All in CVS and all like some novel file server somewhere that goes and gets the. It was horrible. It was all set up in Python and Emacs libs, and it was just good old times.
Yeah.
And then yeah. So anyway, so I was on this year off, and I got to play and remind myself, or re-educate myself, like on NPM and Python and stuff. Because I said I'm not. At least I'm going to stay away from what I know. Oh,
I have questions. Did
yes.
you like? So, do you like Python?
I like Python for its let's call it the fuck around, find out mentality. Like I can just play around and mess things up.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it because of all the like. I'm not saying unsafe typing, but
yeah, that's right. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so for scripting and stuff, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But and this is what I learned for Home Assistant. So Home Assistant, they have this, I forgot what's called, like my type, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So you can kind of annotate types on it. So you get type checkness or some kind of type safety. And then I could kind of deal with it in a bigger project.
And finally, it's actually in the language nowadays, but it took a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then all the stuff like the speed of Python is just miserable. So when I came back from that year of fun, another thing is just installing and setting up Python it was horrible. It's getting much better, but I'm used to doing tooling and Java, so I work on all three platforms like Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Right.
And Python everywhere except. Well, on Linux it's fine. On Mac it's tolerable. On Windows it's just not
right
thing. Especially not for, let's call, normal humans. So anyway, I came back and then I works. I'm co-leading Quarkus, but in that project I saw a lot of scripts lying around, which was written in Kotlin.
Right.
I think in Kotlin, but I was like, why are we dragging in all this other stuff when the stuff we're doing is just pure Java? And the team here is mainly like Java based. So anyway, I was like coming back from that year, and I installed first time. I still remember installing, having a blank calendar, no appointments, installing Java after a year off.
Nice.
And I was like, God, like I have to install which version of Maven, which version of Java, what variants do I need to do? And that's when it hit me, like, man, this, like, we've really made Java so complicated.
Right.
And it's stuff you don't notice when you're in the rut. Like, once you've fought through all the battles, you just find, hey, Java's fine. Like, I can set it up easily. I can set everything in. And that was my, I was like, man, this can't be true. I like to work on getting stuff to be, fast and developer friendly.
Yeah.
And then that year off had got me thinking about things about like, hey, what would be nice to do? And then this was like Java. Last time I worked was on Java 6 at the time.
Nice.
Java 8 had just come out.
Java 6. Oh, so your perspective at that point was, well, yeah, not great. Yeah, okay.
Well, it was like Java 8 was I forgot. I think Java 10, 11 had come out, but I hadn't done like streams. Like that year I was gone was when Java 8 became like the new base, what you can call it.
Wow.
6 years ago. So I was like, hey, let me go and have fun with streams and stuff. And I needed something to play with. And that's when I saw Kotlin scripts or K scripts. And I was like, this is cool. Why can't I do this in Java? And then I spent this. Yeah, this is what I do. I spent my Christmases on doing stupid stuff.
I wonder what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You're like our friend Dr. Subramaniam. He writes a book every holiday season, which
I
good for you.
I can't do that. So hey, I started doing this, and I'm like, hey, let me just write a simple thing that I can write small scripts and get going. And that was the first steps of JBang. And
Nice.
I'm actually just show just so we can all like those who
Please.
might not know.
Demo
Because the thing is,
time.
it's now grown into something a lot more interesting. Is it sharing?
Yes,
There we
sir.
go. Yeah, right. So let me just do empty
So you're
here.
using Cursor, which is based on Visual Studio Code plus some AI. How do you like it?
Yeah,
By the way? I've heard
it's
good
it's
things.
I can no longer code without having an AI. It's horrible. It's addiction.
Is it actually? Do you find Cursor to be a satisfying experience? I've tried it for some front end stuff.
It's horribly good.
Oh,
Like as in,
so good.
it's just it's the thing is, it's just I have a I see I explain to people like, why do I use AI? It's just I hit writer's block constantly. Like when I'm writing or coding, I'm like, I have it in my head. I just need like get it out.
Yeah.
And I can either just tell it like I have this stupid idea. It's like rubber duck programming.
Yes.
But the thing that makes me go with I'm not sure I'll show it, probably pops up. It just kind of knows the next thing I'll do, and I just save the typing, and it's like, or like, oh, I'm renaming a variable somewhere, and it has the same name pattern as other places, and it just goes like, oh, you probably is going to change this, and you just press tab, and it's done.
Wow.
So it's just like these small things that are going. So.
And you know, I have you tried Claude? I mean, that's what's powering this, right? Have you just used Claude directly?
Yeah, well, they use a mix of models and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, the only thing I don't like it's doing remote stuff. So you know, I want to try and get something running locally, but right now for these like stuff, I use Cursor. But yeah, I think it uses Claude and some other one it does. But I use them all. I'm just trying out and playing out with all.
You've got it. And by the way, that rubber ducking, that's exactly it. I tell people that's not in as elegant set of words as you just did, but I try to convey the same thing, which is it's not that I couldn't write the code myself. It's that it's nice. It's like having somebody to pair program with, right?
Yeah.
Like
this is the thing. It's like I have a friend on work who's very against this AI stuff. Because of all the energy stuff, and I'm with that. I get it, but I'm like, if AI is the one that makes people realize, oh, we need nuclear power and other stuff, that's a score.
Feels like a good outcome, yeah.
But the fact that
update.
I need to update apparently.
Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna update my things.
What can go wrong? It's actually I gotta give Apple a lot of credit. Probably not a lot. Probably not a lot's gonna go wrong. It'll be fine.
That one is like corporate laptop. Hey, you've left your laptop not doing anything for 4 days. Of course, let's disturb you. So hey, no. So I tell people like what AI do is enable people. Well, first let's call them experts, like people who know, to just kind of get better, like just remove all the stupid stuff.
Right.
But it also allows you to have I don't want to call it conversation, but it is like you have someone to talk to. Like I sit here, I worked from home office 17 years now, or 22 years. And yeah, I like to have an office to go to, but I also like my peace and quiet. And with the AI, I have someone I can just rubber duck program with, right?
So people who don't know, we get on this little show of ours, we get a fair number of people who are new to engineering.
Sure.
Do you want to tell people what rubber ducking is?
I know it's there's this trend where you say to people like, if you want to solve a problem, go and talk to your rubber duck. There's like a rubber duck sits on your desk and you just talk to it. Yep. It's like when you try to explain to someone what your problem is, and then before you finish, you solve your problem because you just speaks it out.
Right.
And that's the unlock. So there's an old this before memes, I think. This is like a picture of a rubber duck.
Right.
And everyone knows.
I have a little blue rubber duck in my backpack for this exact reason, because you and I are the old. And did you ever see that talk by Neil Ford called "On the Lam with from the Software Police"? Like 15 years ago.
No,
one of my favorite talks ever, and he talked about a lot of reasons why this works. And he said that I guess in your brain there's like there's two sides, and there's a unit channel. It goes one way. The communication goes one way, but not both.
Yes,
so you have to stop talking on one side for the other side to hear it. And and there's something about the way our brain processes data. If you have, have you ever done a mind map? Like if you do a mind map, you're taking data that's already in your head and drawing it as a picture. And why would you do that if it's already in your head? And apparently the ability to look at that data visually stimulates new thoughts that it wouldn't otherwise be obvious to you if it just sat there in your head. Same thing for sometimes people read text in their head, and then they find themselves at the bottom of the page and they don't remember what they just read. But you can fix that by actually reading it aloud, because it goes out and comes back in through their ears.
Yes.
Then it's processed differently.
One of the things I learned when I was on that sabbatical is, I realized I hadn't read a book since I went to university, and I was like, why is that? I'm like, I read a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
I just never got to read a book because I just get too bored reading it. And I started listening to audiobooks on a drive, and then suddenly I've read like 50 or 100 books. You just need to find out what's the approach to work for you, because it's different for everyone. That's what I like about AI. It enables people to try things out without offending someone else. Right. Yeah. Like, I have this stupid idea. I want to put like a rocket on the moon or whatever. And AI is just being friendly and talking and sometimes
and fast, because you don't have to. There's work to be done in explaining your idea correctly. You have to it's not like it just reads your mind. You still have to kind of articulate what you want. But once it's on its way, it's very fast to get you there.
It's like what's the Greek philosopher, like the fact that you have a conversation with yourself, or that
Descartes
getting it out and speak.
I think therefore I am.
Yeah. So anyway, very, very, very philosophical. Like that was the thing of. So anyway, the very first thing I did was I made that I can just this is not unique today, but
well, when I first saw it was.
Yeah. So you just create a file. You have hello world. This is like, you can also do that. I can also just run this with plain hello Java. And it works since Java 10 or 11 or whatever. But where the magnet thing is I can use this. I can run the Java directly because of this line here in the file, right?
So cool.
And this is the env, and you can do like I think I saw this in Go. They do a similar thing. And by the way, so the first / is bash, saying, hey, this is the bash or C shell will see as a command. The second is a Java comment, so therefore it will work in any Java IDE. And the third comment is I forgot what it is, but it's on Windows. If you have /, it thinks it's a UNC path and things goes bad. But if 3, it sees this as a proper path and everything's fine. So there's a reason for all 3. So anyway, this enabled doing the scripting, but of course, nothing is fun in Java without having dependencies.
Sure. That's where things get weird if you're just using the regular Java story.
Yeah. My phone is going off here.
My calendar invite for our call just went out. Did you get that calendar invite for the one that we're meant to have in 10 minutes?
Probably. And you'll see now.
Pico Salai is so good.
Actually, let me just open this up so it's a bit more. It's nicer, right? So now it's more like a full-blown Java. This is the Pico using Pico CLI.
Right.
Love it. A single file, and I have the dependencies up here, /steps, info Pico CLI, etc. And this is completely ripped off of how KScript did it back in early, whatever, think it was.
In Kotlin.
In Kotlin, yeah.
Which is good. I mean, now there's consistency. You can transfer skills. That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, it was. And I also, by the way, I have support for, you can do like, what's it called? Grub.
Yeah.
What's it
Oh,
called?
Grab from Groovy.
Groovy.
Whatever it's called. Yeah.
So that, yeah, like this, right?
So does that work?
But it does. I never use it because then I have to have another dependency for the compiler, right? So anyway, so you see this time it now ran the thing, resolved the dependencies, and build it. And if I run it again, it shouldn't go and build it, and it goes off, right?
Yeah.
And you still have a clean. This is my directory. These are the 2 files. Nothing is there, right?
Yeah.
And then just to go from small to like super advanced. Let me find. I found this Spring Boot example.
Okay.
Let me see if I can open this up.
Hello.
So this is should be.
Oh my goodness.
Again, this is like Spring Boot more than I do. But I can see you fetched a bunch of dependencies. I have Java 22. I'll in 2 seconds. And you just see stuff like options you have to give to Spring.
Oh, these are just the config. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Look at that.
Right? Because this is the thing. It's like when I started going, I was like, okay, we get dependencies. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Java likes options. So you have to have a way to do that, because my whole goal was to make this something I can run my scripts without having to like put a lot of arguments on the command line.
Right. Normally those options would be in a properties file. So I guess you have a files thing there as well. Maybe I could just.
Yeah. So the other thing is, so here, this is, I have a /5. So it's basically like a file mount. So you say the meta inf resources index HTML comes from index HTML, which is here, which is some right. You can also do stuff like files. I don't know, whatever equals source somewhere. Properties. I don't know, whatever you want, right? So you can also do like matching thing. Reason why I don't do that too often is because then I can't run it remotely, which is another thing I'll get to. Because what you can do now, so anyway, let's be getting ahead of it. But you can basically specify your dependencies. You can specify which additional files you want to have in there, and you'll see here it also says sources like person Java, person repository, person again. And again, you can simplify this by doing /java if you want to.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this, I actually haven't done this in this is the live demo. This is a Git repository somewhere. So let's see if it works. So this is the online version of this.
Wow.
And what was the thing Spring Boot compare? So I just take this URL, I just copy it up there.
No way.
I'm just gonna, let's see if this works. Somewhere. Right, so I'm in somewhere, there's nothing. And we're just gonna check if this works. So this is, I have nothing. Oh yeah, it does. There you go.
What?
Right?
What is going on?
So with this, I know. Oh,
it's okay. It's a port conflict.
Where is that running?
Just do p kill -9 Java, and it'll whatever's running it will be gone.
Which one? Sorry.
If you do pkill space -9 space Java, you'll kill everything that's Java in your system.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm also going to killing the IDE. Well, let's see what happens.
Oh yeah. Don't do that.
Anyway, no. So that's the thing is, I wanted to have just enough in like the directives, the JBang directives, so I could
Yeah.
make it easy to run. Like because I also talk about being old. I use WebStart, Java WebStart in old days was also.
I love Java Web Start. That's
yeah, but
you're speaking my language.
It was too enterprisey. It had so
Hey.
many restrictions.
Well, it's for security, quote unquote. You know.
What? Sorry.
For security, okay. Come on, Max. It's security.
Yeah, I get it, right? But so this is now a single, like multi-file project running. I don't know.
Oh, hey, Max.
UDS and there's actuator.
That's amazing. Can you? I told you that it was fine. I lied to you apparently. Can you make your font just a wee bit larger for our friend Syed here?
Right. Yes.
My fault. I told him before we got on air that it was fine, and in the IDE is what they're asking for.
No problem. I'll do that.
Sorry about that, everybody. My fault. Completely my fault. Max even asked, and I told him it was okay.
Let me just.
Can you just do command plus plus?
Yeah.
Yeah. That works. Is that okay, Syed? Let us know, huh?
So this is the thing is like I can do dependencies, I can do the options, and I can do files. And you see here even I don't know what. Well, apparently he's saying I want to use Maven Central, and then Spring Boot snapshots again.
Yep.
Apparently,
separate artifact repository for snapshots.
Yeah. You can also do like you want to use the Red Hat one, or I have a few like stored ones. I thought I had a Spring Boot one. If I don't, we should add that one. Yeah.
The fact that just works is like super cool.
Cool. What this means is that was the first phase of JBang was like, oh, I can just write a script and get dependencies. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It just occurred to me. You mentioned WebStart. That would work, wouldn't it? If I used JBang and I pointed it to a JavaFX app?
Yes.
Would that actually give me a updatable web app that is based on JavaFX? Like as soon as I restart it, does it pull down the new one?
Yeah. So what we do, and this is this. Yeah. So I default to the getting started experience and consistency. Why is my yes? You can go and so let me find a good example. I have somewhere. Again, this has been a while since I've run this because that was one of the things that I was annoyed about in Java is JavaFX because I educated, trained people on Swing in the old days.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to do JavaFX, but it was just so like you had to have an IDE to do it.
Right.
And I don't know. I get allergic to like I'm an IDE guy, but I'm allergic to any technology that requires an IDE to be used. Like,
wait, so what about just Swing? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is,
it works. It just works. Let me.
Do you cache it? Like, if I do JBang for the same Git repository, does it pull it down each time?
Yeah, so there are some caching. It's not perfect, but let me just give you. Let me just find the JavaFX example. I can't.
God, that was cool.
There we go. Is this the big one? No, it's not the one. This one is bigger.
Oh my God! It's actually JavaFX.
Yeah. So here's Han Solo.
Our friend.
Yeah. So let me
over at Azul, right?
Let's just take this random thing. Well, I know what it is, but it's random as in the
yes, something they might have stumbled upon on the internet.
Right. And by the way, it's run now without asking because I've already like if I pick some oh, that didn't work. Why did that not work? Oh, this is the old because I'm on an ARM. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So this is why I don't like. So in JavaFX, not only do you have to do this like Java modules dance of add modules things. So and then on top there's the whole thing about picking the right version for the OS.
Right.
So the trick I do, I need. So one is Yeah, I need to. Let me just take something like super. I just need. I know this works.
Okay.
This is.
I mean, this is cool. I can see the potential already. This is.
Yeah. So
And by the way,
I can full blown JavaFX app. So why like the reason is that 11 you have to go to like 16 or 17 before the MacBook M series gets supported.
Okay.
But
So
of course,
before-
stuff like it has then a qualifier of which OS is on. And again, I don't want to be tied to Mac or Linux, so I just picked up this let's say convention.
Yeah.
There is Maven and Gradle about there's this like standard names that gets filled out for OS stuff,
Right.
and I just derive the like what's the JFX name, which is a very specific variant. So by doing this, I can have a source file that I can run, and it will run on all major platforms, and it will just work. Like,
that is so cool.
that
is so cool.
So, and
you know what you could. That's the you know how all the homebrew and SDK man or whatever, all of them require you to like curl something pipe to bash. You know,
this is like Perl on so no, that was by the way, the first time I did this, where I released JBang with the ability to go and download remote ones.
Right.
Gunnar Walling was the first one who wrote a script. I forgot. I think he did he wrote something that went and did like a rickrolled a thing. Like, this is dangerous, Max. You should not be doing this. So he's the reason why I added an enterprise feature of when you run something from a URL I haven't seen before, I will ask you first. And then it will.
Cool.
So it doesn't run things blindly. It's not great, but it's better than curl. Which
sure. I mean, like, look, people, just use some common sense. Don't run things you don't trust. But this is cool. This is really cool.
Yeah. So
useful for me.
Yeah. No. So this is cool. So I can do stuff like Java options. I can also do Java options and the whole shebang, right?
You know what I do actually, Max? I have a convention when I work on a big project with multiple Git repositories. It's a real pain in the PHP to set it up again. You know, so like if I'm on a new machine or I've a new account or whatever, and I just want to get all the things, I have this convention where I have a workspace folder or a workspace repository. When you clone that, there's a script called init.sh, or more recently, I use a dir env, and so you cd into the directory, and then that in turn Git clones all the other ones. But this would do it. This would be like a script that can install the other Git repositories for me. This is super cool. Wow, I can see this being super useful.
So once you start going down that road, that was planned. So Taco Quintes, who is the second maintainer of JBang, he came up with the idea of like, hey, like it's really annoying. You have to install Java to use JBang, and I'm like, yeah, that's annoying. So he added the support, so I can now do.
No
way. We can like 11.
Front door. No, we don't use 11. Let's use 23 or 25. It's not even out yet.
I haven't done 25 in the.
It's not even out yet, right? But if it is.
Oh, so this thing. So I use Fuji, Fuji thing, and the thing I wanted was I also wanted to avoid people to have to. Oh, am I using whatever license that is there?
Right.
So I use this thing was OmniDK, which is now the Eclipse Tamarin kind of thing. So the default is there. But then I always hit the problem was like, hey, when the early access version of something is out, it's only available some hidden place.
Right.
But I work with the Fuji guy to say, hey, I have this endpoint. I just want to be able to go and ask on this OS with this architecture, give me a binary. I don't need, like, before you had to do a query, pass some JSON, come back. Just give me one URL.
Right.
And that URL also includes the option of saying, hey, if you don't find anything, go get the early access release. And that's what it did. I'm now running Java 25 beta, whatever version is there. And I don't have to think about it. Like, I literally just wrote Java 25. Right? And this is whatever I can't remember Java 25 feature, but it's how can we do the print system get property.
Look at that.
What are we doing?
Java. I'm doing
Why is my keyboard being weird?
I did it for you on my machine. OS.that version is 15.2 for me. Java.that version you want.
What?
Hey, can I ask you a question? It says 25
beta
beta for that.
Yeah. System get property. Yeah, it's not the fastest thing to write here, but
no problem.
I'm under pressure. There we go. Java version. And there we go. Yeah,
nice.
24. Yeah, 25 beta, right?
I have a question. Can when you download Java 25, if I Control C out of JBang and then do the same thing again, will it use the same downloaded Java 25, or will it download it again?
So again, the default is that I'm trying to have the least surprise. So we will default to use the Java you have, like in path, the system home, Java home, right? But if you ask for, if you're running, let's say you're running Java 21 in the machine, and you ask for Java 11, I will say, oh, you asked for Java 11, you need a Java 11. But you say Java 11 plus, it will take the highest that is, or the whatever version it matches. And so the default is if you don't have a match, so you can do stuff like so if I say 24 plus, I think this works.
Wow. Oh, so it'll just pick up Java 25.
It should be 20. Oh, I had 24.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you see the point. It will go. Let's say 13. I don't have a 13. It's gonna pick something. The newest one was 21. Okay? So yeah, if it'll try and match. So you can have your script saying, hey, it needs to be 11, or it has to be 21 plus higher, or something. And I'll go get adoption. But even if you want to, there is, and I forgot the syntax for it, but you even can say, hey, look at my SDK man, look at my local stuff.
Yes, this was going to ask you about. Will it, if you download Java 25, can you use SDK man behind the scenes to do it? So it's just in the same place?
Yes, you can. I need to remember, I haven't enabled it because the problem with SDK man is SDK man has no order.
Oh,
right. There's no before after version thing, so I can't if you run default, I can't trust SDK man because there's no it's unbounded what I can search for. So there is an option if you want to, you can say honor SDK man.
Okay.
And others there's a bunch of others that it can do. Let me just go find it so you can see.
But if I give it a specific version, that wouldn't run into that issue, would it?
Yeah, but so right now, JBang is not being. Internally, we know the specifics, but externally, we try to keep it simple. So we don't want to have the JBang, the SDK man says SDK man GraalVM SC24 whatever.
Yeah,
that is not there. Let me see. JDK providers. There. So you see here.
So cool.
Yeah. So there's a JDK provider list. Oh, I don't have that. Hey, you. There's a bunch of stuff you can add. You can add in.
That's so cool. We have a question here.
Yeah. Sorry.
If you. Out of curiosity, was there a specific reason that running Markdown was chosen over ADOC, or is it just under the header of work in progress?
Oh, so he's referring to another thing you can do is you can run Markdown files.
What? What does that mean? What?
Oh, this is remember this was done in Christmas times, like eggnog and whatever. So the early version, I could get ULs So the ones I showed you, the get GitHub something.
Right.
Right. But I also wanted to, like, this was a time where Twitter was a platform that was open. So I also made it possible to run tweets. So just JBang a URL to a tweet. I recognize, oh, it's a tweet. I'll go get the code that if you have it in there. And I did the same for gist. So if you give it a gist URL, I will know that's gist. But then also for Markdown, let me see. Do I have one? I should have one. Actually, let me just do this Markdown. Yeah, running Markdown. Yeah. So you basically, like, we used to writing Markdown, so it's possible to write JavaScript, blah, blah, and you just say, if you have like a code block that says Java, it will just take this piece of code and extract them, and you can run them.
So will it run all three in serial, like one after the other? Or
yeah, literally, it's just like it's what's it called? Literal programming, like where you have the code and docs in the same place. Yeah, so it basically does that, and what it does, because the same way I know when you point to some URL, how do I know what to run? I take a guess, right? So if the file ends in .java, it's a Java file. If it ends in Kotlin, it's Kotlin. If it runs in Groove, it's by the way, we also do multiple languages. It's JBang. Any JVM language that someone or me bothered as support for, we do. So if I extract code, I can also I get, oh, it looks like a class. I will treat it as a class. If it looks as individual statements, I run it for JShell, right? And this also means you can do stuff like this, right?
Oh wait, so did you just say you run it through JShell? So you delegate to JShell in the JVM if it's just individual expressions?
If needed, right? If needed.
That's so cool. But you weren't you doing this before JShell existed? I thought JBang preceded the JShell.
No, so this is the thing. This was the early days. I think 10 was out or 11 was the. So 8 was becoming the new normal.
Right.
And then 11 was out, and JShell came in J9, Java 9 or something.
Okay.
So let me just see this here, right? So this is why is this is being confused?
Computers.
There we go. Right. So
that's so cool. Oh man.
By the way, the other things I've done here is
minus C from Python, right? Like.
Yeah, well, Python and Ruby. There's like 3 or 4. I took the one that has the most common thing, right? But so here's the thing. It's like, so all this can be. I can run all this as scripts, but all the stuff I've shown here also works for jars, right? So your existing Maven, Gradle, whatever project can benefit from JBang, because not only can I do these different versions of stuff, but another thing that we like, this is again, this is my biggest problem, is that people don't realize how complicated it is to get Java on a system. We all use it, just GitHub Action, you have it already installed. But if you don't, so my what's it called? My idea of fun is taking my son out to. He likes to go to electronic shops, and he's like 10, right? He wants to go and look at all the games, and I sit down and I look at like some laptop that's in like isolated environment, but it has access to the internet. And my test is, can I run JBang on it? Right? I just go to JBang.dev and I pick whatever OS command that's there. I do the Internet Explorer or Linux or Mac,
right?
And just run it. And the cool thing is, in most places, I can run it. So I can basically run, like, I can make this run on any laptop that has internet access. And mind you, wow. Beyond this, if I'm on a new machine that has no IDE, right? Because that's the other thing I did in the early days. I do. Let's see here. I'm just gonna do. that thing again, right? So I can install JBang with a curl command. That will then install Java for me, so I don't need to go download Java. I can then create a project, a file, and I'm gonna do edit here, and it's gonna. So now it's gonna start up my IDE. There we go. But if I didn't have an IDE configured,
Right.
it will actually offer me to install VS Code. So this is the and it will install the JBang plugin for VS Code, so you'll have content assist and completion and all the goodness on some random laptop in a gaming electronic shop. Or my test was my wife had a MacBook that has never seen or touched Java, and I need to work on it, and I can get it working. And all this also works in your GitHub code spaces or Eclipse J or whatever. You just run this command and you have a fully working Java environment. I use Home Assistant that has this. They don't like Java,
right?
But I can get a fully working IDE on that Home Assistant in a few minutes.
So this is, that's why I see when you're on JBang.dev, it shows for students, educators, and professionals, and I noticed that professionals came towards the back of the list there because this is eminently useful for
this is
the wayward debutante in Java. This is so good, and it's useful for me as a professional with decades of experience.
That's my thing. It's like I wanted to make it easier for people to get started because I think people forget how complicated Java has become, or what, like at least a few years ago. And now I'm at a state where I can basically do anything. Like I will. It's a bug at the moment. If you could show me an easier development environment to get configured, like I can. This is easier than Python. This is easier than Node, etc.
Yeah.
Across all platforms. But one thing I
got into a debate with people about this actually just a few months ago. If I had but known, I would have just destroyed.
Tell them just go use JBang because and this is the thing. What I now this is the thing I'm trying to get people at. One is people know JBang for the scripting part, but the bigger thing that JBang enables is the running part,
right?
Or the tryout thing, right? So you can do what's a good example? So I have.
I just like the idea of having a swing app that I can just point people to.
You can. You definitely. Actually, let me show you this. So this is the. Cool. So here's the thing. My brain is just freezing. I need to go. Oh, H2.
It's too early. You haven't had coffee yet, but we got Java. It should be okay. Coffee or tea guy, or just water?
Yes, I don't have a JV. So you know H2 just H2. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a thing called JBang Hub H2.
Huh? What's the H2 at?
I'll show. This is now running. This is H2, the web app,
right?
To download the things, right? So this is the thing. So this is literally just a note. We have this thing called a catalog. So I can do, but the cool thing is I can do stuff like install it. So just this I'll get back to you what this syntax means in a few seconds, right? But I can now I can run this directly. This could also just be a jar, a JavaScript, a JShell, whatever. But I can also do app install H2. Like if you think about npm install, pip install, go install thing.
Right.
Now this is H2, and H2 is now available as a command line option, a command line script. This is actually, by the way, so if you install the Quarkus CLI, it's the same thing. Right? The Spring Boot CLI probably has the same, could be done the same way.
Yeah, we have something like that. Yeah,
I have For example, peak. What's the thing that's nice here? ProGuard SQL. SQL line. I needed a database. Anyway, so one thing I did is this syntax I have here is what we call the catalogs.
Yeah.
So catalogs are a JSON file. Again, we just chose JSON because that's what people seem to be suffering with.
Right.
And basically this allows you to basically all the commands things I can specify as a JBang command, you can put in a catalog and you can have it inside your project. And now if I run JBang H2 here, it's actually going to resolve in my directory. Oh, is there JBang catalog here in this folder? And
right.
You can actually have, let's say, commands like format source or run test or whatever. You could put into this catalog and have local. But you can also go publish it on your website, a JBang catalog. And one thing I've done here is I have this thing called JBang Hub, which was supposed to be a way for people to share ways to do GitHub, JBang things, right?
Yeah.
Because one of my April Fools, I like the last 4 April Fools I've done something funny. Or so, for example, I launched an app store for JBang Hub, or for JBang, which is basically all. What I do here is I just search for any JBang catalog JSON file out on the planet, and it will pop up here, right? So I'm just going to pick something like let's just take something Tabula PDF.
Okay.
So Tabula Java, you see someone, Max Andersen, contributed JBang catalog. So this is their tool, like Tabula, like to run Tabula, I would have to download this file and run it on the command line.
Right.
With this, I can just go
add catalog Tabula PDF.
JBang, I can just copy this Tabula. Well, let's just do it just so you can see. I'm almost
untrusted code on the internet. What could go wrong?
Oh yeah.
But you already know this guy that contributed this. He's probably fine.
So this is actually this is actually the thing. And by the way, you ask for, hey, you want it to be updatable. So what we do is we ask, has this thing like HP head, whatever it's called, to get has changed? If it has changed, we will reload it. We can also just use fresh, and it will go get the latest one. There's no new one here, so
you have to do add, right?
Well, so here it needs a file. Like this is a tool to.
Oh.
This is not JBang complaining. This is the actual tool I'm running.
You're not adding the catalog. You're just gonna run the catalog directly and look for a file in the catalog. Is that the idea?
Yes, right?
Oh, that's so cool.
Right. And I can now go app install. What was it called? JBang app install. So if I don't want to run this every time, I just do this, and now Tabula is available.
Wow.
So this is unheard of in Java land. Like you can just run and install things. This is the thing, like so cool. People don't forget. Like the cool thing about it, I don't need like virtual environments and whatever, because Java has historically have all like a main repository. Everything is kind of separated out. I can just collect the dependencies and run it from there, and it's like it just works.
This is so good. A question on the catalogs before we move on. Yeah. Our friend Simon here. Are any guidelines on contributing to the catalog, by the way?
No. So there is no limitations. The only thing is probably like if there would be like a license issue for like whatever, but so anyway, so what I did here is like the thing is I went out to people and said, hey, pretty please, would you like to add a JBang catalog to your project, because I think this is like the best thing since sliced bread. And I got 1 or 2 responses. One was, hey, this is awesome, let's put it in. This is, unfortunately, it was the minority. Most people says, hey, no one asked for JBang before, so we don't want to do it. So I had to kind of bootstrap it. So this is the thing I came up with, was this called JBang Hub. It's basically just I started adding these things so I could just make them available under a name that is fairly short.
Oh, neat.
Right?
Oh, so if we could just send a pull request to that official organization?
Yes. And then it's all that.
How do you add a new repo,
so I haven't added I need another Christmas for this. I don't have a way to do the add a repo. You just ping me and then I'll add one. But I am working on, you'll see this thing here. Pulumi?
Yeah.
This is multi-language terraformer kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wrote and imported of course, in JBang, which will scan GitHub repositories and give me an import scheme for Pulumi. And then I don't have a good example here. I don't have it. Let me actually do. I have anyway. There is support for Pulumi has support for JBang, so you can just write your orchestration scripts for Pulumi in JBang. So I have on my to-do to make the JBang Hub organization managed by a Pulumi JBang script, where you just open a PR saying, I want this repository, and it'll just run, and everything is, automatically managed that way. Whatever next day.
So sick. That's so cool.
Right? So this is the thing. It's like, this is like the thing I want to get people to, like, yes, JBang scripting and stuff is cool, and it's definitely the origin of JBang. But with JBang, you can get automatically installed Java. You have it all available to you, and it works for anything. Like any jar you can produce that has a main method, it will run. And so, for example, what's his name? JLama.
Yeah.
The Java inference AI.
Yeah. The new thing from last month.
Yes. So just before I talked with Jake before DevOps last year, because this is one of the things
this year.
I guess this year. Yes, it's still
still 2024.
Yeah, right. So mind you, so this is if you're on. He has these instructions for JBang, right? You're on a laptop that has nothing, right? Stupid thing. Just go curl. Of course, if you have JBang already, you don't have to do this. And you just go app install JLama, and now you can run this. And you'll have a full running inference engine with local models on your machine. And you haven't even brought, well, except you use like 4 GB of download for the models, but you haven't done anything. Like you haven't had to set up any environment for this stuff. And this is and this is like full blown. Because mind you, like the IDE stuff, like I've done everything I could to make sure that JBang is Java. Like JBang is a very, very thin layer of existing Java tools. Like I just use Java, Java-C, etc. And that means that all the source files we are running is Java. And with my help from Fred Bricard, who's done a lot of the Java language server stuff, there is a Java language server that understands JBang, at least in VS Code, right? And it means you can have all this content assist and completions and debugging and all the goodness from Java is there, and there's like no like. And the thing is, this is like I don't want people not to use JBang, but once you outgrow JBang for the scripting parts, you just convert it to a Maven Gradle stuff, and you off like there's no thing.
It's
and
like pipenv and UV and RubyEnv and Node all mixed, and Maven and Java and JDev and JShell.
Yeah, it's all those things, right? And and another thing. So well, let's get. But the thing is, mind you, JLama is a Maven project, right? Like he started as a Maven project, and he was actually like, oh, I have to go. He was starting to, oh, I have to do like native compile to different OSs. Which is still cool to do.
Yeah.
But I just gave him this, and I don't think he stopped just spending time doing all the other stuff, because if you're just using Java development anyway, you don't need the native binary. Just do this, and all you're good. So, and by the way, another thing that I've done is like, you saw this template stuff I did in the beginning, like JBang init,
right?
CLI, right? These are just entries in the JBang catalog, right? So you can have, for your project, you can have samples, and these they can be. I even have what I'll do. What's the thing? Anyway, you can have multiple file projects, like maybe archetypes or kind of thing that just materialize on your disk with JBang. So you have everything. You have like download Java, run Java, provide templates for people to get started with. You can even tell it to like, if you're into JShell, like pre-configure your environments to get started, and all dependency fetching, all the jar. So anything that you are used to people saying, hey, this is so easy in Python and Go, is available to Java today.
And it's awesome. This is so good, man. Really, really cool. This is, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I guess we don't have, there's no way we could cover everything, but I'm told there's support for native images from our friend Sebastian Blanc, and kubectl plugins and all sorts of other cool stuff like that. Oh, Jupyter notebooks?
Yes. So this is my why is this not working? So this is, I think, last year, this is a Christmas thing for Advent. I was like trying. I've been playing with, again, I know Python. I played with Java, and I was like, hey, I want to get it in Jupyter notebooks, and it was already there, like this thing called iJava, which is using JShell, but it was hard to get working. So there's multiple kernels now. So there's like iJava, JJava, Rapio, Ganymede, Kotlin, etc. And I'm like, hey, this should be easy to do. So I wrote a JBang script because, of course, like we all know that's the best thing. It's called install kernel. So I can now on any machine that has Jupyter Notebook, including Jupyter Notebook running in the cloud, so I can run that. So yeah, that's by the way, this other thing. There's JBang for Python, which is not that. So this is actually, you can run Java from Python, right? So you just go pip install JBang Python, and now you can do stuff. And there's also JavaScript. So this is this is true JavaScript. Right? So this is So this is, you acquire JBang.dev, and you can now run Java from your JavaScript. And the fun thing is, this is actually if you know Karate, the testing thing.
No, but cool.
Let me just npm JBang. Yeah. So see, this is fun, right? So this is actually download like a couple of thousand times a week, because they use that in the Karate stuff. So anyway, fun story. So you have a script. I have a script. It's just a pure Java little script that can install kernels, because it turns out Python's Jupyter notebooks are fairly flexible.
Yeah.
So you can take any Jupyter notebook on the planet that I've tried, and run these commands. You just go pip install JBang, import JBang, and run this. And now you have that. You have, even if they say, hey, this is for Python, you now have Java kernel available in your Jupyter notebook. And the cool thing is, if you don't know, you actually has. Let's see, I have this. So I don't have it set up for. I don't have it online. But if you use what's it called? Oops, I'll zoom in again here. And sorry, my shortcut for some reason doesn't work.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah. So here you see this is a notebook. I'm just going to clear. Well, I'm just going to be there. And this is on. This is just VS Code. So on the laptop, and you see here, I have different shells available. These has been installed by JBang install kernel JJava, JBang install kernel Kotlin. And they're just available. You just go, I want to do the JJava, and I just say run this thing. So you see, this is Maven, import the Maven stuff. Do this, and now I made a chart using Java on your machine, right? And again,
it's the MCS or end drawing itself.
Yeah, right. Have the Kotlin and other stuff, right? But this is just the thing that you had just goes around like, oh, I can run, JBang can run anywhere, like anywhere that Java can run, right?
Which is because I want to bring Java everywhere.
Yeah, and I just use that to kind of inject, that to the system. So if you have like Jupyter Java was a project I created last year. Just to make people aware, it has like tips and guides on doing it. Again, I'm not on the mindset that Java and Jupyter notebooks got to take over from Python. Python is definitely king, but it's a nice way to play with Java. And I just feel like, hey, like this should be known that you can do it, and with JBang it just becomes easier. Yeah, so. Oh,
super cool, my friend. This is really, really cool. My head is, I'm swimming. This is.
Yeah, it's getting late for you guys.
But just even if it wasn't, even if it was like 9 a.m. and I'd had 2 cups of coffee, this would be a bit overwhelming. There's just a lot here. Thank you for this. I can't believe all this is. It's just so. I guess the obvious questions. JBang.dev, that's where I go to learn and download and get started, right?
Yes.
It's open source, just some
all the openness, yes.
Yeah. That's really good. I guess we can wrap up. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, it's just just for anyone like JBang is not just for scripting. JBang is for any kind of Java stuff and make it available. So any CLI, any tool you have out there, like my Saturday fun or whatever fun is to go find random products out there that has a CLI of anything or a Swing app and just make it runnable. The last thing I did was I made a JDMC command for that will either run H2 the browser or SQLite, or I found this Swing-based database browser, and I can just run it now. So like you've been taught for the last 20 years that Java is not very good for command line stuff, but
I reject this idea now.
Yes,
you're amazing. I reckon people are going to want to find you. Are you on the internet? Do you want to be found? And if so, where?
Sure. Look up Max Andersen. I'm on GitHub, the old Twitter. Blue Sky is Max Andersen, xam.pk. So I'm all the places.
I'm going to put one of them. Give me 1 second. I'm doing the thing. Just hold official host duties here. Just how do you like Blue Sky, by the way? Are you like, I'm digging it.
I'm kind of split because I definitely, there's more conversations up there on Java, but on Twitter there's still a lot of It's still like it's for me. It's calmed down a lot on Twitter, so it's actually it's a weird split. But no, Blue Sky is definitely for at least for the Java side of the house
Right.
things.
It's getting really good. I find like I've got Blue Sky is this many followers and Twitter is that many, and still the engagement on Blue Sky is it gets pretty close to what I get on Twitter, and that's despite having orders of magnitude more on Twitter. It's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you for waking up early. This is fun.
Thank you. This was just half an hour, so it's good.
Right. Well, yeah. Almost 3.5 hours. Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yes, I take time off at least.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas, or at least happy time off to you. And thank you very much. And thanks everybody for watching. Bye. This has been fun.
Thank you.